Hey, what's going on? It's Quinn David Furness. This is the Beantown podcast, November 10th, 2018. How's everyone doing? What is happening? Thank you for joining us. It is a pretty cool and crisp fall day. Emphasis on the cool. Probably down to about 40 degrees here. Coming to you live from 817 St. Paul Street in the heart of Beantown. Went on a little run this afternoon. Let me tell you, that wind is out there. Blustery, even, I would call it. So I'm running up, and of course, when I leave my apartment, I'm going uphill and I'm running into the wind. And when I come back, somehow I'm still running uphill and into the wind. So it's like when your dad tells you this story about walking to school 7 miles uphill each way. That's how my run went today. So anyways, feeling a little sore, getting nice and tight sitting in the flower chair here. But that's the sacrifice that I make for the fans every week. Listener discretion is advised when you're listening to the Beantown podcast, which is, by the way, the People's Podcast. It's one of Baltimore City's top 500 podcasts. Listener discretion is advised. However, when you're listening, number one, we'll occasionally use some language throughout, and number two, it is objectively terrible. And I tell you what, I've got a sneaking suspicion that this episode right here, right now, is going to be pretty terrible. So 90 seconds in, there's your actual warning. I tell you why. Because we are acting upon an idea that was proposed to us a little while back, and I've been thinking about it for a while. I haven't been quite sure exactly how I want to do it, because when I do it, I want to do it right. And unfortunately, this morning I committed to doing it, but I still don't honestly feel like it's where I want it to be. So the idea is this. I watch the series finale of a TV show, and I kind of commentate on it while I am doing the podcast. But here's the catch. It's a show I've never seen before. And so that's really the key piece of this whole experience. I want to pick a show that is going to have a solid season finale, or I keep saying season, a solid series finale, so that I can really, relate the experiences to the fans. So talk to some friends, talk to some followers of the podcast, some hashtag friends of the podcast, and eventually we came, and there were a couple that kept getting thrown out there that would have been great for this, but I've seen them, things like Lost or Breaking Bad. So it came down to a comedy, which I'm not quite sure how I feel about, but we're doing it anyways. So this installment of the Beantown podcast is going to be the episode in which Quinn narrates the series finale of How I Met Your Mother. So I know some of the cast of the show. I think if I thought hard about it, I think I could probably name most of their names, not all of them though. So we're just going to kind of describe it as it happens, and hopefully it goes well. But you've been warned, the next 53 minutes are going to be me talking about How I Met Your Mother. So there you go. When you do have those angry comments and you want to complain about this week's episode, please just send it to beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. That's Beantown, Beantown podcast at yahoo.com. You can tweet at us. We're at BeantownCast. We're on Facebook. You can use the hashtag friends of the podcast, and that's how we'll go viral. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead. We'll get this episode started here. So the way I got this set up is recording on my computer, talking to the mic, and then I've got one of my ears has the headphone going to the microphone. The other ear has a headphone going to my phone, which is what I'm watching this on. So it's 53 minutes long. Again, I've never sat down and watched an episode of How I Met Your Mother before. I really don't know much about it. But here we go. This is the series finale, which I think came out probably, 7 or 8 years ago. We're just going to do our best here. So you can't hear it, but I can. Okay, McLaren's Pub, September 2005. Maybe this show is set further back than I thought. So we dawn upon 5 strangers sitting in a booth. There's the guy from Gone Girl, Neil Patrick Harris, calling the Ted, I think his name is, called him Roxanne. Not sure why. What's with Ted's haircut? Okay, can we... I'm not going to stop because the podcast would be too long, but can we put a timeout on Ted's hair? Holy cow. So they're sitting at a booth. They're talking about Canada. It's September 2005. Here's the girl from Avengers, Colby something. Let's see. She looks to be a reporter. Got something low cut on. Okay, we've established the show's hottie here. And let's see. There we got the redhead, Allison Haney, something like that. And Pineapple Express. Okay, I forgot he was in this. Jason Sudeikis. No, Pineapple Express. This shouldn't be this way, but I tend to get Pineapple Express and Little Miss Sunshine confused. And for anybody who's listening who knows both of those movies, that's a pretty silly thing to get confused. But let's see. Oh, Avengers is making a silly voice talking about the Canucks. She must be Canadian from Vancouver. Ted looks like a loser. He's talking about getting rejected by women. And then, let's see. Talking about banging. Here comes the 18 plus content. And what else is Redhead known for? She's is she in the original American Pie? I'm not sure. Oh, whoa. We got a big change. Hello. So they're at a wedding. And Pineapple Express, Bad Hair, and Redhead are sitting at a table. It sounds like Bad Hair Ted might be moving. Not sure where. I don't know where this show is set. Someone playing the bass in the band looking like a snack. I don't actually know what... Is there like a meaning to the connotation looking like a snack other than just like... looks like cute and sexy? I'm not sure. Maybe someone can explain that. Oh, we got a theme song going. So it looks like those are the 5 main ones. So they're playing a song. Oh no, our stream stopped. That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Oh no. Josh Radner. That must be TED Talk, dude. Well, we are going to have to troubleshoot here. I'm not sure what the deal is. I have been having some issues with, I don't think it's the Wi-Fi, but just like when I've been watching some YouTube clips lately, they've just been pausing in the middle. I'm not really sure what the issue is. We're going to try to skip ahead a little bit here. Maybe it will come back online. But boy, yeah, this is really busting the balls here. Come on. It's killing me. Why did it just stop like that? We are going to troubleshoot. We are going to come right back. Okay, I think we're back in business. And watch, it's going to happen again. So this could be a painful podcast. Thankfully, there's no big difference in time for you guys listening, but it is going to be potentially a little rough here. So let's see. Gone Girl's talking to bass player. They're playing a nice song. And okay, so let's see. Gone Girl and Avengers are dancing really awkwardly. Well, they are white, so it makes sense. They're dancing at what one would assume their wedding, because Avenger is wearing a white dress, and you always... Oh, hang on. Gone Girl's freaking out. He's talking to Bad Hair. Let's see. Have you met Ted? Is that? I think that's like a pickup line of some sort. Barney is this character's name. I don't know. I kind of like Gone Girl more. I like calling Neil Patrick Harris Gone Girl because that's like one really out of character role for him, because he's known for How I Met Your Mother, but also all his Broadway stuff. He's won a couple Tonys, I think. And so to label him as a Gone Girl, I think is just completely out there, and I love it because we're all about absurd humor. So they're outside now, and Avengers and Bad Hair Ted, they're embracing. They might kiss, but it's her wedding. I think Gone Girl and Avengers were getting, I think this is their wedding, but we didn't get any explanation. It just kind of jumped ahead from that opening scene when they're at the bar. Okay, Pineapple, oh, he's moving to Chicago. Okay, so Bad Hair Ted is moving to Chicago, and Pineapple Express, who I think is with the redhead, is moving to Rome, apparently. I'm not sure why. Great pizza city, but then again, you got Chicago, great pizza city as well. So now, redhead, something around E.T. goodbye. Oh, they're going to touch fingers. That's kind of strange. I think that's fun for like a regular goodbye, but if these kiddos are like best friends, how many seasons was How I Met Your Mother on for? I don't know. Maybe like 7 or 8 years. I'm not really sure. Okay, now Gone Girl and Bad Hair are talking about licking the Liberty Bell. Oh, I don't know. This conversation in the show is kind of boring me. There's got to be something better to talk about. Let's see. High fives is now the topic of conversation. I told you, okay, don't come out here bitching at me around the 12-minute mark saying, wow, Quinn, this podcast really sucked. What was the deal with this? You must have really lost your marbles. I told you, 90 seconds in, go back, check the tape. I said, look, it wasn't going to be good. I wasn't happy with how the prep had gone, but it was too late to try to find a new show, so you just kind of trudge through the mud. I apologize. I promise our holiday shows, they're going to be better than this. It's just, it's not going the way what I'm really realizing, this is a good thing. This is a good thing because now I know that How I Met Your Mother is not the show for me. I've heard people compare it to Seinfeld and It's Always Sunny. I don't know. Maybe it's because Avengers chick is making a big speech. First 4 friends I made. 8 years. So 8 seasons is what we're looking at here. That's a good, what's the exposition? She wrote a poem. Let's see. Described a piece of sea glass. Okay, what is sea glass? Is that just like litter that's thrown into the ocean, or what's the deal here? Okay, I'm not loving how much this episode jumps around and around because now she's on the stage with a robot and brunette bass player is still up there. And now we're jumping again. Okay, now Bad Hair is sitting on the bench talking to this old lady. And now we're cutting back to okay. Are all episodes of How I Met Your Mother like this? This is killing me. They're jumping back and forth. Started in 2005, but now we're talking about the end of 8 years. So is that just like a flashback? You know what I feel like I'm watching? I feel like I'm watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Something like The Social Network or Slumdog Millionaire. Those movies that have the big twists at the end. I can't follow this episode. I think part of it is the fact that I'm, doing a live podcast, broadcast, and then part of it is just maybe the show sucks. Like, none of my friends are actually, as far as I know, like really big How I Met Your Mother people. Like, you don't see on Tinder profiles or Hinge or Bumble, whatever you're looking at, and say like one of the questions is rank these 3 TV shows, and it's usually something like The Office or Gilmore Girls. I don't know, but you don't see How I Met Your Mother on there. And if and when I do see it, I will rank it at the bottom of the 3 shows, because this show kind of blows. Like, apologies if there are any How I Met Your Mother fans out there. Oh wait, we're doing another flashback 24 hours later or earlier. I don't remember which one it said. That could affect it. Let's see. So I think it was later, because Pineapple Express and Redhead are complaining about bad hair because apparently he didn't move to Chicago. Which, why wouldn't you want to move to Chicago? He says he met a girl. Who meets a girl when they're supposed to be moving to a new city? Like, there's other girls. There are more girls in the new city. The bass player from the wedding, that's who he met. But they met before that. So what? But they weren't talking at the wedding. I don't know. She was playing. I feel like I missed something. Maybe somebody can explain it. I tell you what, if you're in the comments, if you're on YouTube or SoundCloud or Player FM or Stitcher or Apple Podcasts or Google Play, leave us a comment, or you can email us, beantownpodcast@yahoo.com. It's beantown, B-A-N-T, podcast@yahoo.com. Maybe give me a little plot synopsis here so that I can come back after the fact and try to figure out what this episode is all about. How are we doing on this show? We're only 12 minutes in. Oh, there's 40 minutes left. Oh, no. And we're jumping back to the old lady on the bench with bad hair Ted. So there's the... Okay. What? Time out. He left the wedding. He said goodbye to all his friends. And the bass player was still happening. And now she's at this train station that he's at. That doesn't make any sense. And now we're jumping back to 2015. There's Avengers lady. She's got the red shirt on. Wait. 2015. Is that before or after the show ended? It had to have been after, right? How I Met Your Mother ended before 2015, I think. Maybe not. This is really tough to keep track of. You know what I'm tempted to do? I'm tempted to cheat and skip way ahead in this episode, because more than anything, I think what we've learned today, and I think I already said this about 5 minutes ago, is here's the reason that nobody watches this show is because they're skipping around, they're bebopping all over the place, timelines are messed up. Oh wait, here comes the bass player again, but they were just at the wedding. Oh wait, but this is a different year apparently. What's going on? Don't think we can get married. What? When did they get engaged? I must have missed that. Maybe this happened before. Oh wait. Did she just spoil something? I think she might be pregnant. Okay, spoiler alert. There's going to be... If you haven't seen the show, you might want to pause now because, there's going to be stuff going on. Okay, we jumped again, and now we're at somebody's apartment. There's bad hair, and Pineapple Express, and Flanagan, I think, Redhead, is that her name, Flanagan? She got a new haircut, which really looks tough. Okay. The Big Bangs. Intervention time. Let's have a talk. Let's have a candid discussion about the Big Bangs. Don't get me started on the Big Bang Theory. Oh, no. Okay, we're on a tangent now. If you're on your Tinder profile and one of the get to know me questions is rank these 3 shows, and it has both How I Met Your Mother on there and The Big Bang Theory. What are we going to do about that? Because I tell you what, The Big Bang Theory was kind of like it was kind of a, not what, kind of, it was a cool concept for like the first 2 seasons. The whole nerd culture and across the street from Penny and stuff like that was cool. That was fun. It was a good show. But I just feel like nothing changed. They just added more nerds. And what is it on? It's like its 13th season. It's finally ending soon. But boy, that show really, it's not only one of those shows where I just sit there and I'm like, I don't get this. It's a show that makes me upset when I watch it. Kind of like when you show my mom Kevin James movies. Oh, boy. Jane does not like that. Oh, wait. We skipped to a different apartment. And Avengers and Gone Girl are talking. Maybe they're married at this point. Maybe not. I hate it, though, because we keep jumping around, so I don't know. They might be getting divorced. I'm not sure. Oh, they're... Now another flashback. Hang on. What's going on? Gone Girl's talking. And I can't keep up with this. Do they have a kid now? Why is that kid brown, though? Either of these people are... I don't understand. This is infuriating. But, okay, now they're going back to a candid conversation. And they might be getting divorced. Uh-oh. Not sure. They're sitting down. Always a bad sign. Gone Girl says, I love you. Soft music playing in the background. And Gone Girl says, oh, they got divorced. Oh, no. What? Commercial break. Why didn't we get to see that procedure? That's what I wanted to see. Oh, they didn't tell their friends that they got divorced. It sounds like they're not as good of friends as we might have been led to believe from the first, however, 15 minutes of this episode. So I always thought that Gone Girl dude on the show was gay because I thought he's always like trying to get with guys on the show from what I heard. But apparently maybe he's bi? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. We're back to the scene where Redhead has the big bangs, which is kind of a tangent we were on before. I don't understand it. It's never like, and I apologize if I'm offending anybody with big bangs, but it's never a look that makes sense to me. Like, there are a lot of different ways you can style your hair. You can have bobs, and you can have weaves, and you can have bowl cuts, and you can have ponytails and braids and French braids and et cetera, ad nauseum. But the big bangs for me are just, boy, I don't get it. Wait, they're hugging again. Maybe someone else is pregnant? There's too much pregnancy going on. So I think Redhead just announced that she might be pregnant. And Avengers, I'm just catching everybody up here. Avengers and Gone Girl just got a divorce, although we're not sure how long ago it was. Now we're jumping to October 2016, which is a pain in the ass because I don't know where we were before. And last I checked, bass player was having a baby as well, but we haven't really seen any developments on that. So now Pineapple Express is coming home to Redhead, who's sitting there looking major prego on the couch and not really sure what they're talking about. It doesn't seem like an interesting conversation. Frankly, it's probably about as interesting as this episode of the Beantown podcast. If you're on a Tinder profile and it says rank these 3 shows, and the 3 shows are How I Met Your Mother, The Big Bang Theory, and Quinn David Furness presents the Beantown podcast, People's Podcast, one of Baltimore City's top 500 podcasts. I don't know which one I'd rate. It would be pretty bad anyways. Oh, Jesus, we're getting a FaceTime call. No, that's not going to work. Sorry, whoever FaceTime me. Can't do it. We are recording live in studio, Beantown podcast. Don't you just hate that when you're really in the groove and you're just killing it with your comedic material and you get a FaceTime call that just throws everything off? I hope whoever that was is finding happiness with their life, but also FaceTiming at 5 o'clock on a Saturday night. Like, I don't have any hot dates happening, I don't think. Oh, Jesus. Speaking of which, it happened. It finally happened. My ex texted me last night. It's like 9:30. You know, I'm in bed, 9:30. What am I, a 20-year-old? I can't stay up that late. I'm not a college student anymore. So I'm lying in bed, and there we go. Comes on in, presumably a drunk text. Says, "Are you home?" I say, "Yeah, what's going on? Everything okay?" She says, "Can I come over? I want to cuddle," something along those lines. And I said, "Talk to the hand," which is tougher to do through text. But thankfully, with modern advancement and emojis, I think I was able to sort of get my point across. That's not really what I said, but more or less. So, you know who's trying to get back in it, and no. Two things. One, it's just a no. But number two, like, I'm sleepy. It's chilly outside. I don't have the heat on in my apartment yet because I'm right on that line where it's like with a sweater and pants and socks. Like, if I don't think about it too much, I'm not that cold. And as long as I'm under my covers when I'm sleeping, like, it's fine. And it's about 40, 45 degrees outside. So I'm trying to ride it a little bit longer because once that heating bill does start to come up, it hurts. That's tough on the paycheck for sure. But yeah, so trying to slide back into the DMs, and I don't know. I just I'm okay without it. But yeah, everything since the breakup is going well. Again, it happened on Halloween. Last week was a real somber episode, if you will. Apologies for being a downer last week, but things have been going a little bit better this week than last week. Again, last week we had strep throat. It just gotten dumped. It was tough. Some other things going on were rough. This week was a little bit better. Some outside things that were still a challenge and remained a challenge and will be a challenge for a couple more months here. But the health is getting a little bit better. The breakup is not a big deal anymore. The health. So I told my mom I had strep, but I wasn't going to the doctor because with my health insurance, there are only a couple places around town that I could go, and they weren't open on the weekends. And by the time this past Monday rolled around, I'd already had strep for probably about 5 days, and strep only lasts about a week on its own. So it was silly for me to go get antibiotics at that point. But my mom, Jane, the patron saint that she is, sent me these homeopathic drugs, I think is the better word. And I don't know, maybe the doctors out there can tell us more about this, but we got astragalus. It's like arugula, but with asparagus. Astragalus, immune support, healthy liver, and vascular function. I don't really know what vascular means, but we also got Highland number 5. Not to be confused with the Mambo number 5. This is Highland number 5. Callie Muir 6X. Colds, sore throat, and runny nose. So she was nice. She sent me that stuff, and I've been taking it. I feel like I'm I don't know. an herbal medicine person or something. It's kind of crazy, but we're feeling a little bit better. And regarding the breakup, everything's been fine. There's still some emptiness, but it's not a like a sad emotion in that I really miss the person or I miss the company of that ex. What I miss is just like my schedule was in pretty good shape. Like I had someone to talk to at the end of the day consistently, and like someone, physical contact, which is, I think that can have a pretty big impact on your mood. As Pineapple Express just said, he's becoming a judge. I don't know what he's been doing the past, 8 years on the show, but it's kind of that void. You have a lot more free time than you're used to, which, is definitely a blessing, but, just finding more things to do, reading my book, reading some James Baldwin here, and playing a lot of Toon Blast on the iPad. It's a heck of a game. If you get the chance, check out Toon Blast. It'll change your life. It's like Candy Crush, but better, because there are tunes involved. And, might go see a movie tonight. I don't know. Just kind of been hanging out. Go to some Peabody concerts. There's plenty of stuff to do. And just getting lots of sleep. So, and on the diet all at the same time. So, some bad things, but some good things happening in my life as well. So let's check back in on this before we get back to the How I Met Your Mother finale. I do want to announce so nothing big happening next week, but the weekend after that, I anticipate that we will have a Thanksgiving special, potentially, and we haven't run this by anyone yet, but potentially with my aunt. She's a little crazy, so there's your precursor, but it'd be fun to get her on the podcast. So we got to talk to her and see if she's available. And then our regular weekly episode will potentially feature my brother, Jack Furness of Beantown podcast fame. He has been on the podcast twice, one of only a few people who will have made multiple appearances on the podcast in year one. I think, let's see, Jack is already, and he will continue to make multiple appearances on the podcast. And my friend Matthew, our resident accountant, has made 2 appearances on the podcast, which is great. And he did a concert series with us, so he's got a couple different appearances. And Ryan, the Car Ride Convos podcast, and Reek Entertainment. Check him out on YouTube. Ryan Austin Ligon has been on the podcast twice, one for an Oscars spectacular, and then once for he came down to Beantown and we hung out, which is a lot of fun. And I feel bad. John Paul Pendowski, Jombles, I love this. He's been on the podcast twice, once for an interview about going to grad school for music, and then on the Farewell to Farwell, which was late June, I think. He makes an appearance literally in like the last 30 seconds. It's crazy. We didn't think we were going to get him on, but he came in the door right as we were getting ready to wrap it up. But so he's been on twice. I think I don't know. I feel bad. I'm excluding somebody who's been on the podcast twice, but I don't know. Family-wise, we've had my brother Walt would have been on twice because he was from our Anchorage episode, as well as the roast of Quinn Davis Furness, which was a lot of fun. Man, this is getting me pumped for our year in review, which will happen right at the end of December, right around New Year's. There's been a lot of stuff happening on the Beantown podcast in our first year. This is episode 43 or 44, something like that. Plus all of our specials. With all the specials and everything, we're probably close to 50 episodes in Beantown Unplugged and all that stuff. So, we did our taxes live on the air. We did our Oscars special, did a March Madness bracket. We did our Pledge Drive fundraiser, which is going to be coming up in about 3 months here. We've done interviews about grad school. We've done interviews about mental health. We've done a Farewell to Farwell. We did a roast of Quinn Davis Furness. We took the podcast to places like Alaska and Sioux Falls and the banks of the Mississippi. So we've been all over the place. It's been a lot of fun. If you're expecting like a really cool, fun, edited, like hour special, that's probably not going to happen because, well, I could make the technical abilities work. I think those episodes just like work better by themselves, and I don't feel like, maybe I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but I don't feel like I can really like pull 30-second or like 2-minute clips from different episodes, but maybe it would be a lot of work, and I don't necessarily have, as he just spent the last 10 minutes talking about all the free time he now has, but I don't necessarily have the time to put into that because it'd be a lot of technical editing ability, learning on the fly, but we'll see. It could be fun. So getting back to our show here, as we go to a commercial break, and we're coming back. So they look like they're either at a baseball game or maybe a hockey game, but I think a baseball stadium. So apparently Barney's Gone Girl. There's Jim Nance. Oh, that's kind of cool. We came back in at a good time. Let's see. Jim Nance, all he said to Gone Girl was that he's on his own. What a strange cameo. It didn't even sound like Jim Nance. So, Gone Girl is having a kid, but I'm not sure if it's with Avengers or not, because they got divorced, but Gone Girl dude seems like the kind of guy who would, like, keep banging people after they've come and gone. Let's see. 2020. Oh, okay. What? This show doesn't care at all about time. Was the whole show like this, or is this just like I don't know. So now we're in 2020. Bad hair has got gray hair now, which doesn't seem realistic. And Avengers is walking on the street and they bump into each other. They're chatting. Her face is on a bus, so she must be a famous celebrity or something. There's a kid that's with bad hair Ted, and maybe it's Ted's kid. Maybe, well, red hair said she was having a kid. But Gone Girl at the hockey game said that he got a girl pregnant, but then also the bass player from the wedding, who I think ended up with bad hair Ted at some point, she was pregnant as well, because that's why she didn't want to get married in September, because she wanted to fit into her wedding dress, so they put it off. So I'm not sure this little girl, and we're into a new scene now, but there's this little girl standing there with bad hair Ted, and maybe it's Ted's, but maybe, I'm not sure. It could be the red hair girl or bass player and Ted's, but then who did Gone Girl knock up? And he talked about it at the hockey game. Not really sure what that was about. So, apologize. I've been having some technical issues with the mic this episode. Sometimes the sound is kind of like out here, and then sometimes you're talking right into it. So, I don't really know what to tell you. I feel like when it's this close, you can feel my breathing too much, and especially if I start to smack my lips, which people really hate. And I hate it too. You hear it after. Kind of like when I say anyways, which just happens way too much. So Avengers and Bad Hair are having lunch. I'm not sure what year it's in now. It might be 2020. But apparently they might be getting together. I'm not sure. I missed the first, 8 years of the show were they dating before and then they stopped dating and the show started, kind of like Seinfeld with Jerry and Elaine, or did they date on and off throughout the show? Or how did we get to the point where, because at the start we were at a wedding and I think it was Gone Girl and Avengers' wedding, but now Avengers, they got divorced, I think, and now Avengers is sitting here with bad hair. And I don't know what's with that outfit, though. She's kind of wearing this pink number. And if you know the finale, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it's got this weird thing going on with the collar. Bad Hair Ted says he's picking up the kids. Does he have multiple kids? Is it one of his kids with the bass player, and then the other one is the girl that Gone Girl knocked up? We haven't seen the red hair kid, I don't think, yet, with Pineapple Express, because I think those two are together. And I don't think there's a lot of drama there. I think they've always been together, although I've really only seen about half an hour of this show. So, Bad Hair is doing a longingful look back, and there's some sort of military salute going on, although I don't think either one of them was part of the military. I'm not sure. Maybe that was like a season 6, maybe like a subplot. Bad Hair joins the military. I could see that. Now, there's a show I would watch. Oh, boy. This is really bad dad joke. Ask me if the abominable snowman called, and Pineapple Express is not Yeti. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I think I made the right choice to not invest in this show. So, here comes Gone Girl. He's in the hospital, and maybe the girl that he knocked up, that he was talking about in the hockey game. Hang on, here comes a nurse. He's throwing something. He had a girl. We still don't know who he knocked up, though. Maybe, is that like a big surprise? Is it secretly the bass player? I don't think it was Avengers, because we just saw her 5 minutes ago and she wasn't pregnant. And they got divorced, but that doesn't seem to be a big stopping thing or obstacle for Gone Girl. So, I don't know. Now we're getting some sappy music like, say something, I'm giving up on you. Anywhere I followed you down. Say something, I'm giving up on you. So he's holding this baby, which is touching. But who's mom, right? I feel like I'm in a Maury episode right now. Like, who's the lady? I don't understand. The show is giving me a headache. And we just lost our stream again with only 14 minutes to go. Okay, we will be right back. Okay, so I thought we were back, and then, the stream's coming back. So now the baby happened, and the Bad Hair Ted is down on one knee with bass player. They're getting married on Thursday. That seems pretty short. That's a pretty short engagement. I got a lot of friends here who are doing the crazy long engagement thing. I don't understand it. We're talking like multiple years, like a Pam and Roy situation from The Office. Is it just because like you're just dying to be able to call yourself your fiance? I'm not sure. Is it just to have tons of time to plan a wedding? I'm not sure. I am not really looking forward to when I get married and the whole wedding planning experience, because it just seems like people have such high expectations for a wedding. Like, people say, I don't want a big thing. even if you don't want a big thing, there are just so many things that go into a wedding. But I don't want to shell out money for a wedding planner. Like, I don't want any of that stuff. So how about, like, I got the perfect setup. So my grandparents' condo south of the Twin Cities has a party room. And let me tell you, this thing looks like it could have hosted some bangers in the late 70s. It's got an organ that doesn't work. It's got its own little mini kitchen and bathroom. I've spent the night there before. It was awesome. I've heard rumors that there's a cat that lives there. There's some nice couches. I'm sure there'd be some good like Juice Newton cassettes in there or something. So I would be down to like get married in a Lutheran church or like a Presby church up there, and then head back to Grandma Sal and Grandpa Dave's condo for the party room for the ultimate wedding experience. You can get some sick tunes going. There's a bathroom if anybody needs it. You can just get, a couple racks of like Bud Light or Natty Light. I think that'd be good. So my future fiance, when you are listening to this episode and you're 47 minutes in deep on the How I Met Your Mother series finale, I tell you what, if anybody has listened this far, you are a true champ, because this one's been tough even for me to do. Like, there are nights there are episodes when I'm having the time of my life, but it's really tough to listen to. And then there are episodes where it's really tough to listen to and I'm not having the time of my life. I tell you what, I'm not having the time of my life listening to or trying to listen to this episode. First of all, the quality of the content seems to be pretty low. Like, I don't know. The show doesn't seem particularly funny to me. I don't really get it. But also, my stupid stream keeps cutting out, which is a total bummer. And I think it has something to do with the Wi-Fi. I'm not really sure. But that, combined with the technical abilities I've been having with some of my recording software, it's just, this whole episode feels like, when your horse breaks its leg and you just need to shoot it. Like, I'm halfway tempted to just throw this whole thing in the garbage because it's been pretty bad. But alas, we will continue on. There's now Ted is doing some sort of reflection, and it's all the ladies that he's dated potentially, and he's sitting alone at the bar. And okay, now we're at their wedding. So he's at the wedding with bass player. There's Pineapple Express, Redhead, Gone Girl's there, and Avenger is there. So they're all there celebrating, and they got a female to do their wedding, which is pretty cool. That's pretty progressive, so I applaud the show for that. And now they're just showing pictures. So there's Badhead Ted, and they're celebrating New Year's with bass player. I honestly never caught her name. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have a name. So apparently she's sick. With what? I'm not sure if it's like a cold or lupus. She's in a hospital bed. They still kept all the makeup on her, though, so she doesn't look sick. She looks glowing. He's reading a book to her. Maybe it's Lord of the Rings. Now they're back at the bus stop with her bass next to the lady that they were talking to earlier, after Badhead Ted left the wedding to go to Chicago. But it didn't make sense because this girl should have still been at the wedding to play bass. And now they're talking, so it's another flashback, which is really confusing. Cindy's ex-roommate, and he's a professor of something, I don't know what, but apparently she took his class, which is kind of pervy, like the professor dating the student. I don't really understand that. Now they're talking about this umbrella. Boy, this episode sucks. This show blows. No, who likes this show? I don't. It's just, boy, this has been rough. Not a fan. Apologies to the fans. I want to go on record. I want to apologize to the supporters. I want to apologize to the listeners. I hope this isn't going to impact the amount you donate towards the Pledge Drive fundraiser in I think February is when we're scheduled to do it. Please just look past, when you got your Oscars, you submit there's the 30-second clip that you submit for consideration. This is the episode that I don't want to submit for consideration. We've had a lot of good ones, including the political podcast with our senior political correspondent, Nick Albano. That was kick-ass. But this is the one that you don't want to look at. This has been rough. So they're still talking under this umbrella, and it's raining, and it seems like they're hitting it off. But now what happened? Okay, so she was supposed to be sick. But we had a flashback, so I'm not really sure what's happening there. And we never learned what kind of sickness it was either. Quinn's getting tired. Okay. He says, "That's how I met your mother." So he's talking to these two kids who look like they're about 13. And they got a lot of attitude. And they say that he's in love with Robin, who I assume is Avengers girl. And he said he kept it short. I think the whole thing maybe is that it's called How I Met Your Mother, so maybe he's been telling this story to his kids. But it's lasted 8 seasons, so if I were those kids, I'd be pissed at their dad too. You got to sit there for 8 seasons and listen to stuff. So, now we're doing more sappy music. Don't make me sing the Brave New World or whatever it's called song again. Now it's a clip montage of him and Avengers. But what happened to Mom? Is it a Eiffel Tower situation? Threesome? I don't know. I was starting to feel good about where this is going, and then they just said bass player got sick. But are these kids her kids, or is it one of the Pineapple Express kids? Whatever. We saw Gone Girl hold his baby, but we never knew who that mom was. So I'm confused. What I really want to know is who did Gone Girl knock up. Was it bass player? Was he cheating behind Bad Head's back? Was there a threesome with Pineapple Express? I don't. No, bass player's back. Flashbacks, maybe? It's tough to know. I don't like how he's talking to his kids, but it makes it look like he's talking at the screen. It's like he's breaking the fourth wall. I don't like that. Now we have a fun pan shot of New York. Who's that with the weird bob hair? She's got 5 dogs. Oh, it's Avengers. God, what did she do to her hair? What's with the hair in this episode has been very rough. We had big bangs later on the redhead, and now our stream stopped again. God, this is terrible. With 3 minutes left, would you believe that? We got 3 minutes left. The stream has stopped. We got to make one final push to try to finish this goddamn episode. Worst episode of the podcast yet. Can confirm I am committed to ending this podcast before it hits an hour, though, because this has gone on for far too long. Okay, we are getting it back. Apologies for technical difficulties. Come on, stream. You got this, baby. What's the deal with Hulu? Sometimes I go to my friend's house and we watch Hulu, and there's so many commercials. I'm like, how is this any better than actual live TV? I don't understand. So many commercials. Liev Schreiber hosting SNL tonight. Should be fun. Although I've never seen Ray Donovan before. I've heard it's good, but I'm not sure. So Avengers is now peering out the window, and there is Badhead, and he's got a brass instrument of some sort, and Avengers is tearing up, and they're just standing there like dummies. And that's the end of the show. So Jason Segel is Marshall. Okay, we're going to get the names. Allison Hannigan is Lily. Oh, I didn't know her name was Lily. Neil Patrick Harris is Barney. I think we knew that. Colby Smulders, what a name, as Robin. And this guy's name is Josh Radnor as Ted. And the bass player is apparently Kristen Melody as Tracy. But what happened to Oh, wait. Okay, we've got like a post-credit scene here. So it's Pineapple Express and the Redhead. And what's happening here? They're in bed. They've got money. He's singing a song. Not sure about what. I don't know what happened to his hair. Looks pretty rough. And that's it. What the heck was that? It's almost like you had to have seen the whole season or the whole show to understand what was going on. That was tough. Boy, I have so many questions, and not questions because like I haven't seen the show, questions because like what happened to the bass player? All they said was she got sick, but she still looked healthy, and then they just like didn't show her again. So did they get divorced? I don't know. And then so Gone Girl had a kid, but we don't know with whom, and we never got that sorted out, which is pretty upsetting to me. And I guess I don't have many questions about Pineapple Express and the Redhead, but they just seem really boring. But they're the ones who get the post-credit scene, so I don't really understand. This has been rough. We gotta kill this. So if you listen to this far, here's what we learned. One, this idea was good in theory, but it just didn't quite pan out. Number two, How I Met Your Mother sucks. Boy, that was rough. That was not enjoyable to watch. I can't believe I spent 50 minutes of my life doing that. Number three, we continue to have technical difficulties on the Beantown podcast, although it's been pretty good as of late, and I think this episode's going to end up sounding okay. But, thank you all for your support. Thank you for listening. This is the Beantown podcast, the People's Podcast, one of Baltimore City's top 500 podcasts. If you liked it, if you hated it, let us know. Like us, rate us, subscribe to us, share us, give us some stars, give us some love on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, etc., etc., etc. So, without further ado, this has been Quinn David Furness. We'll be coming to you live next weekend from 817 St. Paul Street. Should be a good time. It won't be an hour long, and we won't be watching any more terrible TV shows. So, thanks again. I hope everyone has a good week. Enjoy the fall weather, and we'll check in on you next week.